Alright, so I had to jump in the car to go pick up some food. What do you call it? Pickup order for some groceries. So we can get us some lunch. We can get us some lunch today. The funny thing is, my sister came in the room, asked me if I wanted to have some beans. My mama left some black beans. I love black beans, by the way. But I was like, I don't know if I want to eat that today, because, you know, sometimes those beans have your guts going, bubbling over. And so I was like, I don't know if I want that today. And so she put in a food order. I'm on my way to pick it up from the store. I think I might need to make another pit stop while I'm out. But I wish I had that camera where I could let y'all see the views that I see as I'm driving in downtown Dallas, because I know some of y'all still haven't had an opportunity to really explore Dallas. Maybe you visited, but you were kind of hanging out with friends and families or attending an event, so you really didn't get out and kind of see, you know, the stuff that everyday people that live here get to see. I think I got a little bit of a glare on the video because I pulled my top back on the car. But anyway, it's about 82 degrees here today in Dallas, Texas, and it's pretty quiet. It's about 12:17, and traffic isn't that bad. It looks like sometimes it can be a mess out here, even during the work week. Ooh, there's the sun coming out. Look at her. All right, Jesus, let's pull that back this way a little bit. But I'm still trying to work out my setup with my cameras and see what really works best for me as it relates to trying to vlog and capture moments of my life to share, or just pin in my timeline. So as my situation changes, where I'm believing God to change my situation, I can look back on these moments. Because, you know, it's interesting sometimes, you know, when you're in the middle of something, it seems like forever. But then when God pulls you through it, sometimes we forget those moments. We forget those feelings that we had. We forget the day-to-day of what it was like. Not that it's more important to focus on those moments, but I think that in remembering bits and pieces of it, it can remind, you know, me of how God delivered me, or how he did a thing in my life, or how he showed up when I was believing him for something. Because like I said, a lot of times I don't know how God's gonna work it out. I'm just believing that he'll fix it and that he will work it out in my favor. But yeah, it's pretty quiet today. Again, I live in the medical district, so I think I mentioned that before. It's I moved from over near the double AC arena, the Mavs arena. I moved from over there several years ago when I got my condo, and it was like right in the middle of COVID was going on. I had to grab something real quick, and everybody was doing all those bidding wars for houses and all of that good stuff. And based on where my budget was at the time and my requirements that I had for a house or a home, the condo had what I wanted. I wanted a garage. I really wanted a tri-level. I really didn't want my bedroom to be like on the first floor. I know some people love the first floor, but a lot of times in my last two places, or last three places, I've picked houses where the bedroom is like on the second floor or the third floor, whatever. Yeah, if you're like that, let me know. If you know, because when I talk to realtors, sometimes they say it's a challenge to find places like that. But I know that God is gonna move me soon, and I don't know if I will even worry about that anymore. About not being on the first floor. Number one, because I'm getting older, and climbing the steps, after you going up and down the steps several times a day in your place, you get a little tired. You get steps in, you get a little workout, but I get a little tired or whatever. But so I don't know if I'm gonna try to just look at places where the bedroom is on the second or the third floor. One thing that I had on my bucket list that I kind of wanted was to live up high, to have a really nice skyline view. That's something that I haven't knocked off yet. The apartments that I stayed at before moving in my condo, they were Camden apartments. And where before we left, I think we ended up on the fourth floor on one of the corners, where literally when we sat out on the balcony, we could hear, artists when they were playing, like whether they were down at the House of Blues, or if, somebody was playing something in what do you call that little open area in front of the Mavs arena. We could hear that. And like, if we, if we were vibing with it, we could easily just get up and walk over there. That's how close we were. So that worked, but it did not have the skyline view. So I don't know if I want to, just do that, just to knock off something that's on my bucket list. Because as I mentioned before, a lot of times I like to sit and just think, right? And in the midst of my thinking, I end up thanking God for the things He's done. But when I'm sitting thinking, sometimes when you look out, there's nothing like having a beautiful view. When you look out and you see the skyline view, or like even at Camden, I didn't have a skyline view, but it was like peaceful. And I end up putting a how you do a garden on your patio. I wish I had some pictures. I might have some somewhere where I could share them. I have to look through my my photo gallery to see where I end up trying to plant herbs and all that stuff on my patio. And it was just something to do in my spare time, while a lot of us was trying to figure out, what God was going to do during that COVID era, right? But anyway, I'm almost up here at the store, over here on Lemon. I don't know, is it Lemon Avenue? Yeah, it's Lemon Avenue, downtown Dallas. I'm gonna do this pickup order. I remember every time I used to drive by and see the name Lemon, and I see all these car dealerships. Don't judge me. My mind used to say, oh, that's a sign. They're selling cars on Lemon Avenue. I don't need to buy nothing from them. Sometimes my mind is just weird like that. Your mind try to take you places, but I'm not trying to say anything. The cars over here are probably fine, but before I ever got a brand new car, God ever blessed me with brand new cars, because I've had brand new cars. I've had a bucket here or there, used car, you buy a bucket, you save up your coins, and then you go buy a car for cash, and you call yourself having somebody test it out. You get the Carfax report and all that stuff, and then you find out you got a bucket and you got some issues with the car. And so we talk about a salesman selling you a lemon, But anyway, that's why my head typically goes here every time I'm on Lemon Avenue and I'm driving by all of these car dealerships. Interesting, right? But I'm almost at the store. This was a short little ride here. I'm almost at the store where pick up this pickup order, so we can go home and have some lunch. her some lunch. I'm gonna get her some lunch. I don't even know what's in this order, to keep it 100. But all right, just want to pop on. All right,